I have always wanted to be overseas since I was a little girl at age 7. My mother took me to see a nurse in our hometown, a small Danish community. And so we went to see her, and she was a nurse. And she showed a picture of a tumor that she took out, and that turned me on. And so as we walked down the hill to our house from the church, I said to her, that's what I'm going to be when I grow up. And so I just evolved along that way. I really felt a personal call, and I felt a personal identity with the people around the world who didn't have what we have here in America. I just set my goal. I didn't know if it was possible. I graduated in a class of 26, and so from high school, so when I headed off to college, it was like, I wonder if I can do this. But the goal and the vision were clear. And so I majored in pre-med at Dana College, went to the University of Nebraska Medical School, and that was an amazing thing. I went down there to visit, thinking I could go to medical school the next year, and he asked me if I wanted to come that year, which opened in 2 weeks, and I kind of sat there and went, well, yeah. And so 2 weeks later I was in medical school. The classes that I took after I graduated from medical school were geared to being on the mission field, being alone, running my own x-ray machine, teaching somebody to do anesthesia, all of those things. The church that I belonged to at that time, King of Kings Lutheran in Omaha, wanted to see what they could do in Nigeria. So we went out, and I took a team out to look at the situation. And we came home and felt that probably the best thing we could do was medicine. And so I spent 2 years in Nigeria, Biafra, and then went on to Bangladesh, which is a country the size of the state of Wisconsin and has 175 million people. And I remember flying in there and thinking, wow, how are we going to meet the needs? But we built a 100-bed hospital there and developed a rural health program for which we were awarded in 1983 the outstanding rural health development program in the nation by an agency out of England, the Tear Fund. I think once you travel overseas and you see the need, you don't ever forget it. And I was always trying to figure out how I was going to get back. Meanwhile, when I came home from Bangladesh, I felt kind of lost, like, what am I going to do? Just practice medicine. So in 1980, I started a radio ministry. In 1987, it went international. And so today we're in 180 countries. I had a gentleman last year call me suddenly. So as a result of that, I went to Pakistan last April, a year ago. I can't tell you what that was like. I did not know that Christians live in ghettos in Pakistan, living in cardboard boxes in an area which, when that flood came last year, totally wiped out their homes. And their request was that the children could never get out of that ghetto unless they got an education. So we started a primary school. If you're a praying person, prayer is always needed. If you can help in any way to give toward the education of these children, that would be awesome. One of my friends who works with us, she said, you know, if you gave up your Starbucks coffee, you could school an orphan in Malawi. You can donate by giving to HIS. In HIS, we do not keep anything back. If things get routine for me, I go look for something new to do. I just, you know, I want to make the most of the life I have here. And we only pass this way once, and I want mine to count for Jesus. Yeah.